students, this is a chapter on refrigerants which is used for the refrigeration purpose, and these are the specific topics which you can see which we need to cover here. Wait. These are the specific topics here, like primary and secondary refrigerants. So we will discuss where this primary refrigerant will be used. We will discuss where the secondary refrigerants will be used. Okay, then selection of the refrigerant. What is the basic criteria for the selection of a refrigerant? Classifications of the primary refrigerants and secondary refrigerants also. Designation, how to designate. As you know, this refrigerant we will designate with the R12, R22 or R134. Whenever you go and purchase the AC, you will find this thing outside the box that this sort of refrigerant has been used in this air conditioner or any other refrigeration device such as domestic refrigerator or anything else. So different refrigerants has been used for different purpose. Then we need to discuss the global warming potential of the CFCs and ozone layer depletion also, and then we'll discuss the eco-friendly refrigerants. So these are the various objectives of this topic. And firstly we will define the refrigerant. So refrigerants will be found in such type of cylinders. So it is a sort of gas is there in a gaseous form. Okay, then it is a basically phase changes there. So it will change its phase from one form to gases to liquid to gases. And here you can see refrigerant is the heat carrying medium. This is a heat carrying medium during the रेफ्रिजरेशन साइकिल के ड्यूरेशन में ये हीट कैरी करता है फ्रॉम द इवेपोरेटर टू द कंडेंसर. ओके, from the evaporator to the condenser. Compression, so these are the basically part of the cycle: compression, condensation, expansion and evaporation. So it carries heat in the evaporation process and deliver the heat in the condensation process. So it is basically give out heat from the system. It takes heat in the evaporation system, in the refrigeration system. Okay, so refrigerant should be like that, that the refrigerant system absorbs heat from a low temperature system, as we said in the evaporator, which is a low temperature system, and discard the heat at a high temperature. So it should be discarding the heat at a high temperature. This property should be there in the refrigerant. Okay, so these are the basic classifications of the refrigerant. These are the classifications. In this classification you can see primary refrigerant. So this refrigerant which takes part into the heat dissipation cycle within the refrigeration system, within the directly take part in the refrigeration system. Basically whatever the cycle is there, this compressor is there. Okay, after compressor, condenser is there. Condenser के बाद there is an expansion valve and then evaporator. Whatever the fluid takes part in this cycle, that is the primary refrigerant. So directly in contact with this cycle is the primary refrigerant. And this primary refrigerant undergoes a phase change while providing the refrigeration also. It goes like in the if in the evaporation. After evaporation, this is in a vapor phase. In a compressor it is in a vapor phase. After a compressor even it is in a vapor phase. After this, so this will be the low high pressure cycle. After condenser, after compressor, high pressure, and then after the condensation process this will be in a liquid phase. So phase transformation is there in the primary refrigerant. This is the main property of you can say primary refrigerant. It should change its phase, and moreover here you can see secondary refrigerant is also there. Secondary refrigerant is used for out of that cycle. If we need to cool this space, but say this is the room, and this cycle is or this device is placed far away from this room, then we may use a secondary refrigerant and to heat or cool this room. That is the secondary refrigerant. As you can see from second refrigerants which are first cooled by the primary refrigerant and then used for the cooling purpose. So यहाँ से यहाँ पर cooling करनी है, then we are using the secondary refrigerant. A lot of type of secondary refrigerant. Even water is also H2O is also acting as a secondary refrigerant. Binary solution, brine solution, sorry, brine solution is also act as a secondary refrigerant. Other also, even you will see in a car radiator we are adding some coolants. So sometimes we say it needs a coolant. That coolant we are using is also a secondary refrigerant. Okay, it acts as a secondary refrigerant. So and you will see that it does not undergoes any phase change. Secondary, there is no need that secondary refrigerant should go for a phase change. Okay, then uh, these are the basically further classifications of the primary refrigerants. Primary refrigerants are categorized in this halocarbon or organic, azeotropic refrigerants, inorganic refrigerants, halocarbon refrigerant, hydrocarbon refrigerants. These are the four type of refrigerants are there, which we will discuss, and we'll discuss the this class this nomenclature of for these all these refrigerants. ठीक है, इन सभी का nomenclature भी discuss करना है हमने. Okay, then now before moving further, we need to discuss all these properties of the refrigerant. What are the, how we are going to choose the refrigerant, as we discuss in this objective, how we need to discuss. First is the boiling temperature. As you can see, boiling temperature is very important parameter to select the refrigerant. The boiling temperature of the refrigerant at the atmospheric pressure should be very low. It should not be like that it should boil in a atmospheric pressure. If the if the boiling temperature of the refrigerant is high at the atmospheric pressure, the compressor should be operated at a high vacuum. Okay, one thing is that compressor should be operated at a high vacuum. High boiling temperature reduces the capacity. So due to that high boiling capacity of the compressor will reduce and operating cost of the system will be high. Okay, so that's why boiling temperature of the at the atmospheric pressure should be low for a refrigerant. This is the first property, and next we will go for the freezing temperature. Freezing temperature of the refrigerant should be well below the operating evaporator. Jitna whatever the evaporator temperature is there, whatever the room temperature is there, you can say below that. Even if we are saying that room temperature is 16 degree, does not mean that evaporator is also 16 degree. Evaporator will be at 2 degree or below that all even. So you need to find out the this freezing temperature. It should not be, it should not be it should be well below this evapor operating evaporator. ठीक है जी, operating evaporator temperature. Since the freezing temperature of the most refrigerant are below minus 35 degrees, therefore this property is taken into consideration only in low temperature operations. Okay, so this is very common that refrigerants having freezing temperature below 35 degrees centigrade. So in general we are needing up to this 0 degree centigrade or maybe minus 1 or 2 degree centigrade temperature in the evaporator. But for a cryogenic condition where we need a temperature of 60 degree centigrade, minus 60 degree centigrade or minus 100 degree centigrade, there we need to take care of this property. Okay, because during that time might be refrigerant having a freezing point of minus 35 degree centigrade. So we need to take care of this property so that refrigerant should not be freeze in between the cycle. Okay, then next property you can see evaporator and condenser pressure. Okay, both evaporating and evaporating, which is the low side, and condenser, which is the high side. Okay, pressure should be positive. Both pressure should be positive. Why this is so? Because if it is positive, then it will be the what will happen, the if there any sort of leakage is there, then it will go outside. If any sort of a negative pressure is there, either on the higher side, this low side, or on the high side, if any negative pressure is there, atmospheric pressure will be higher than that, then you need to make this system to be very leak proof. Okay, and it should be as near as atmospheric pressure. So या तो atmospheric pressure के equal हो. The positive pressure are necessary in order to prevent leakage से prevent करने के लिए it is required to maintain the positive pressure. Okay, then this is a critical temperature and the pressure. This is a next thermodynamic property for this refrigerant. This is very important property. Critical temperature and pressure. The critical temperature of the of a refrigerant is highest temperature, at which it can condense to the liquid. Okay, so this is the highest temperature at which it can condense to the liquid regardless of the high pressure. Okay, it should be above the highest condensing temperature and might be encountered. So this property you should take care while selecting the refrigerant. Okay, then this latent heat. This is a very important property because this is the property only decide how much heat it will carry from the evaporator section. Latent heat of evaporation. A refrigerant should have a high latent heat of evaporation at the evaporator temperature. High latent heat results in a high refrigerating effect per kg of the refrigerant calculated, which is reduces the mass of the refrigerant to be circulated per ton of refrigeration. If this high latent of heat of evaporation will be there, then per ton of this mass of refrigeration circulation will be reduced. Okay, so this is a very important property to check the control, to check the circulation of the mass flow rate, or to get the correct tonnage capacity of the refrigerant, whatever you need. So you need to choose this property accordingly. Okay, then specific volume is the next property. Specific volume. The specific volume of the refrigerant vapors at evaporator temperature. Volume of the suction vapors to the compressor indicates the theoretical displacement of the compressor. So if the specific volume of any refrigerant is very high, it is denoted by the mu. If this property is very high, what will happen? Compressor needs to work more because specific volume is high. If the specific volume is low, for the same mass flow rate, you can see specific volume is low, then compressor needs to work less, so displacement will be accordingly. Okay, that's why this property is very important to define the performance of the system. So it will directly affect on the compressor, so power of the compressor, you can say. So this specific volume is very important parameter. Then these are the other parameters which is under the category of chemical properties. Flammability. So whether this refrigerant you are going to select is flammable or not, so this is very important, and where you are using that refrigerant. So what is the application of that refrigerant? If if you are using in sort of industry where chemicals are there, okay, which are flammable, so then you should not go for this flammable property of the refrigerant. If any refrigerant is flammable, then you should go for the non flammable properties of the refrigerant. Okay, then toxicity. If you are using for the domestic purpose in a refrigerant, if say this in a worst condition that your refrigerant may leak in the refrigerator inside the evaporator, and then if the refrigerant is toxic, it will this toxicize your food. So that's why this property should not be there in the uh, refrigerants used for the domestic refrigerator. Okay, solubility of the water, whether it is soluble in water or not, this property is there. And then miscibility, ability of refrigerant to mix with oil, called miscibility. This property of the refrigerant is considered to be a secondary factor for the selection of the refrigerant. Okay, so this property also used to lubricate the oil basically. In the compressor you will see lubrication is also required because a lot of mechanical component, compressor is there, this crank is there, all those things are there. And then oil is mixed with the refrigerant in few compressors, and then after mixing it will lubricate also uh, along the cycle. Okay, then effect of uh, perishable materials basically. uh, what is that? Whenever you are using some refrigerant, okay, this refrigerant you are using, and you need to circulate this refrigerant in the pipes, in certain pipes of a pipes with some material. Okay, the refrigerant used in the cold storage plant and domestic range should be such that in case of leakage it should not affect the materials. Whatever the materials nearby is there, it should not be reactive with those materials actually. अगर वो रिएक्शन कर देगा किसी मटेरियल के साथ, then it will be a disaster. Okay, like certain materials are there which are reactive with the copper. Okay, if we are using the copper pipes, then it will be it will react with the that copper, so we should not use those, such type of refrigerants. Okay, then physical property. Now it should be stable. It should not be like that after 100 cycles or after high temperature, if environmental temperature change, it lose its stability. So stability should be there. Refrigerant should be stable and inertness should be there. Inertness should mean that it should not be reactive that much. Okay, and ideal refrigerant should not decompose at any temperature. किसी भी टेम्परेचर को डिकम्पोज नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, normally encountered in the refrigerating system, it should not form high boiling point liquid and solid substance through the polymerization, corrosive property. So we should avoid that. Corrosion should not be there in the refrigerant. It should not be corrosive. Okay, and then viscosity should be as per the requirement. If the viscosity is high, then it pressure losses will be there in the pipe, it will be the overall loss in the performance. So viscosity should be very less in the refrigerant if we want to get good performance. Okay, then physical property, thermal conductivity. This is a very important parameter. Refrigerants in the liquid or vapor state have very high thermal conductivity. Whatever the refrigerant we are using, it should have high thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is a parameter which will define how fast you are transferring the heat from the evaporator to the refrigerant, and then refrigerant to the condensing unit, then condensing unit to the outside environment. So this thermal conductivity should be very effective to get the good performance from the refrigerants. Okay, so this property is required to find the heat transfer coefficient in the evaporator and the condenser. Then leak tendency, it should be very less. If leakage is there, then it will be very difficult for us to repair all the time. Okay, then cost should be less. Okay, these are the physical properties of this refrigerant.